All right, now, good morning, good morning, good morning. And let's go, let's go, let's go. And let's welcome to the I Bring It Every Day channel. And my name is Kelly. Good to see you. All right, now, it's Motivation Monday. And here we are. And fighting some interesting weather, too. Tell you, this time of year, even though you expect stuff to happen, it's starting to happen. All right, let me check out the comments. Okay. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. So the evil plan today is to start the week off on a positive note. And this is something that we're trying to do on the I Bring It Every Day channel. And then just sort of get our minds right so we can approach the week and go running quickly. So here we go. So who we have? Oh, we have Joshua Gabriel. Hi, I Bring It Every Day. Good morning. Thanks for coming. And he's first. You're number one. Okay. Angela's Precious World. Good morning. And Love Crochet Babe 65. Good morning, Kelly. Wishing you a great start of the week. Yes, you too. And everybody here. So thanks for coming in. I'm a little bit off my schedule because because the weather's so bad, I have to dip out even earlier, which I hate. But it is what it is. All right. So I don't know if you saw today's thumbnail. Now, of course, I got to go find we got Aisha. Let me go back to that real quick. So good morning, Aisha's Handmade Items. Good morning and hello. Yeah, so the whole thing is, I guess, like we're approaching the end of the year, and just want to leave you just some pearls of wisdom. Hopefully, it'll help you out, and let me know what you think. But we're approaching the end of a year, and I've been saying kind of weekly, sort of go into your plans and figure out what you want to do, and then take steps to sort of fulfill those plans. And then, see how we're doing. So if anybody wants to share while you're thinking about it, we're sort of, this isn't the last week of the year, but we're getting real close. And I know during the holidays, people are going to be doing their thing, but I just wanted to sort of put this out there that, we have a couple weeks. You can still, finish the year out strong, but you can also, anyway, so you got a couple weeks to finish the year off strong. And then you also have a couple of weeks to sort of think about what you want to do for next year. And even just, if there's just a couple little things you can do before the end of the year, let's do it. Don't let this, don't let the timing and don't let the holidays, distract you from living. Like you got to keep going. You know what I mean? And so that's where I'm at. But I see some more people. Oh boy, look who's here. Oh, you too. Thanks, Joshua. Yep. We got Emotion New Soul. Hello. Hey, hey, hey. It's funny, I saw that. Hey, hey, hey. I just bought a Fat Albert comic book yesterday, so I haven't read it yet. So I'm gonna go read it. It's from the way back. Yeah. So I'm like, hey, hey, hey. TWP popcorn. What's popping? Hello. There we go. Come on, internet. You can work this. Good to see you. Yep. And Emotion New Soul. Okay, so if you want to drop your link today, the word is respect. Like Aretha Franklin. And I'm just sort of, throwing some of these positive vibes out there. Yeah. So everybody's saying, hey. All right now. Yes. And then, Nightbot's doing some good stuff too. I forgot I put these in here. So you do this stuff. I swear, I was awake when I did this. But I forgot. But I just want to put this on the screen. And this is keeping up with the positivity. Spend time with those who love I'm going to say spend time only with those who love and support you. Yep. That was on my mind the other day, and I was playing around with Nightbot, and I said, I'm going to throw some stuff in here and see what people think. Yes. Yep. So there we go. Oh, look at Nightbot. That is funny. Okay. Thanks to those who support the I Bring It Every Day channel. All right. See, I do not remember doing that. Wow, that's crazy. But I did. Okay. And good morning, Kelly. Ugh, good morning, Kelly in chat. It's Sweet Pea Sids. Inspirations. Good to see you. I can't read today, apparently. My reading is bad. Okay. All right. Looks like Instagram is running. I got my two devices going here. We'll see how this goes. Now, let me pull up my other. So anyway, so today is sort of the day of encouragement, and in the thumbnail, it basically says you have to do something in order to make things happen. You got to take action, and that's kind of what I said. Because if you do nothing, you're gonna hit that goal every time. So just something to think about. And I saw that and I went, that is pretty awesome. Yes. So there it is. All right now. And you can tell me what you think of that. That was crazy. I forget who said that. I have to look it up again. But yeah, I saw that and I went, oh, this is a good thumbnail. I'm going to borrow this. And it's really nice because the page where I got it from lets you borrow stuff. So I was like, all right. Because these thumbnails can be a pain. And, a lot of people, I forget who was talking about the thumbnails. A couple people last week, trying to clean up your YouTube channel and to sort of get things that grab people's attention to come to the videos. And it's hard because I swear I'm like mediocre at it. I'm okay. I'm not bad at it. I'm not great at it, but I don't do the weird hokey stuff. Like I'm pretty serious. It's just the way I am. I've always been that way. And but I have a sense of humor. But I just, like I see some of these thumbnails and I just kind of go, yeah, it's just not genuine, in my opinion. But that's just me. Yeah. So anyway, but this thumbnail, I said, this pretty much talks about some of the stuff that I've really said. I've always said, like, you have to. So let's go back and just kind of summarize real quick. So, I've noticed that, when you get a certain age, time flies fast. And before you know it, like this year, like for me, I can't remember what happened after July. Like July through now has been really flying through. And I don't recall what I've done. And so, what I'm encouraging everybody to do before you start the new year is to kind of go back and look and see some of the things that you accomplished and definitely take time to celebrate those things, And I'm trying to think, I can't even think of any like major examples that I had this year. Oh yeah. I mean, so like YouTube wise, I hit a 2,000 subscriber number, which, you never know how it's going to go. So I hit that in 2024. What else did I do? I got a fair amount of hours this year, although I have cut back, believe it or not, quite a bit, just in terms of my YouTube time. And I've pretty much almost gotten the same results as I did last year when I did probably twice as much work. So it is very interesting, that you have to sometimes working harder. Like you're supposed to work hard and you're supposed to, whatever your goal is, you have to work and take the steps to get there. But sometimes you can do too much. And it's very interesting, just in my example, that I got pretty much, well, that's not exactly true, but I got enough hours in on YouTube with a small number of subscribers to keep my monetization going because you got to stay at 4,000. So I'm over 4,000, and but like last year I had like twice as many hours, but I was doing probably 3 times as much work, which is crazy. Yeah, sometimes like you have to. So anyway, so getting back to that, so you work your plan, you make your plan, you work your plan, and then. But you have to have balance. And this is what I was really trying to get to this year, 2024, was to sort of work hard and to play hard. And that's one of those things, that I learned from these Ivy League students. Because it's funny, like the people, now I know you can't compare, like I can't compare myself to these Ivy League students, but I did, meet some along the way. And the thing that I noticed about them is that they worked hard and they gave back, they were, philanthropic, but then they played hard. And I was like, okay, I like this playing hard, work hard, play hard. So I've been sort of doing that a little bit, at least trying to have a little bit of fun, on the side and not work 24/7. Yeah. Cause that's the whole thing. I think, mental health sort of takes a hit when you do too much. And so you have to sort of find whatever that word balance means to you, So for me, balance meant taking a little more time off of YouTube, not a lot, but just sort of being more strategic in what I'm doing, and then sort of hyper focusing on this, strategic things that I was doing, and not spending a lot of time just hanging, or just, like wasting time, I guess. But let's see. Yes. Yeah. And Sweet Pea. Yep. She's saying, this is the way I feel. Yep. This year has been a blur, it seems. I've had some great accomplishments, but dang, barely remember. See, that's what I was thinking too. Exactly. So one of the things that I was thinking about, and I've been sort of reading these motivation people, and oops, and what they say is, this is one of the things that they say. And I've always said this, I sort of started thinking about these bucket list items back in July. And, it's really interesting that when I was younger, I think I was a lot more driven when I was younger. And when I mean younger, I mean like 7, 8, 9, 10, like kind of in that range, that tween or preteen or whatever. I was really working it. But I had some really stringent goals that I was trying to work on at that time. And I guess as you get older, you sort of check them off, you keep moving. And so my goals are a lot smaller, I think, and now. But anyway, but one of the things that they said was, sort of create a bucket list. And then one of the ways to make the bucket list come true is to make these vision boards. I've never actually made, well, no, that's not true. I've made one, but I made it, like I said, I was probably about 12 years old. I mean, it's been a while, but that's good. Oh, Suzanne. Good day, all. Good to see you. Sweet Pea Sid saying hey to Suzanne. Oh, you like the color? Oh, thank you. This is I do like purple. Or it's like a lavender, lavender purple. And this keeps me warm. It's one of those workout gear. You would think I have some nice workout gear, but I don't work out as much as I probably should. Yeah, and that's the other little thing, I got to put on my bucket list. I got to be more consistent with that. But thank you so much, Suzanne. Yeah, so the thing about it is, like with a vision board, it was so much easier, back in the 1890s when I was little. They had like magazines and newspapers. Like, you can't even get like that kind of stuff anymore. It's not the same online, because I feel like if you're touching, so if you get, if you get like a poster board and you sort of pick out some things, like let's say, like one of the things I was thinking about doing is actually going to, I kind of want to do that Eat, Pray, Love. If you ever seen that movie, it's kind of hilarious. I just saw it for the first time about 6 months ago. And because I like food, I was thinking, yeah, that'd be kind of cool to eat. So Eat, Pray, Love is a woman who has a breakup and she goes on a trip. And I forget how her friends end up there, but they all end up on this trip with her. She was going to go on this trip by herself. I think it was her honeymoon. So she had a breakup at a wedding or whatever. And then she takes her honeymoon. And the funny thing is she goes to Italy, and I forget how long they were there. They were there like quite a bit of time. Like I would say at least a month or close to a month. And they just ate their way through Italy. And that was the funniest thing that I ever saw. Because I said, wow, I could do that. That would make me happy. But that's one thing I was thinking is on the bucket list. So then what you do is you take some pictures of Italy, pick out all the cities that you might want to go, and then put those pictures on, put them on a poster board, hang them on the wall, and sort of keep them in front of you so you can sort of visualize what's going on. Like that's one example. Yes. I know, like workout wear is kind of fancy. Yeah. Don't we all have fabulous workout wear? That's right, Suzanne. Yeah, I think it's hilarious, but I think that's what you need. Well, see, here's the thing. Like, I remember, I don't know if it was Jane Fonda. I think it was Jane Fonda way back. They were interviewing her. She had a workout, one of the early workout people. And, she said, working out is terrible. Like, she hated it. And she was not in love with working out. You know what I mean? But, when you're in Hollywood, you're in front of the camera, you got to look good, right? And she said she started working out, and then she started wearing nicer clothes because it made her feel better, even though she was feeling yucky working out. And I said, oh, that's very smart. So it made me kind of think about that. Yep. Let's see. J3GS Farm is here. Hello. And Annabelle, welcome in. Yeah. So the whole thing is, like the workout wear, I think it does sort of help you. Now, if you're like a real, if you perspire a lot, maybe it's not the best for you, or maybe you have to find something that's a little less fancy. But like I've seen people in the gym look pretty good when they're working out, and I think Jane Fonda started that way back. Yeah. But that was a good idea. I thought that was a very, very good idea. Yeah. So let's see here. Let me go to. I'm going to go to this other thing here. All right. So let me go. I'm going to go to the motivation. So, like I said, I like that quote. Where they say, "Yeah, if you do nothing, you're going to hit that goal." And that's really very interesting. I thought that was interesting. All right, so let's go. So, like I said, so talking about that vision board, that's a way to do it and to sort of visualize. But you can also write it down. I mean, and that's the whole thing. So there's a little bit that from the pen to the paper to your brain, where you internalize, a lot of the things that you want to do. So this really helps you. Yes. Oh, there we go. Yep. Sweet Pea Sid's got it. Yes. If you look good, you feel good. Yes. If you feel good, you look good. That's right. Yes. And that's part of it. That's definitely part of it. And that's the whole thing with like any kind of positive reinforcement that you can get in your life. I would say just take it. Take it and run. And that's my whole thing. Yes. So let's see here. What was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Yeah. So the whole thing is so what we're trying to do here is we're trying to decrease negativity, increase positivity, right? And then the other thing that a lot of people get into trouble with is they procrastinate. And procrastination is really interesting. I've been sort of reading a little bit. I'm not a psychologist or anything like that, and I hated psychology in school. I just thought it was a bunch of malarkey. A lot of it is, but the one thing that they said about procrastination is there's two schools of thought on why people could procrastinate, and one of the things that they say is there's a fear of failure or a fear of making a change. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people are actually afraid of actually making that change, because anytime you make a change, it's painful. So the prime example is working out. It's painful, and Jane Fonda, even though she was fit and worked out, and I think she still works out. She's probably in her 80s now. And she says it's awful, but I just have to get up and do it because it's what I need to do. And so to get through the pain, but making that change, and especially if you're just starting out, because I know I'm one of those people who started like a million times. You start, you go, and then you kind of burn out. And so my whole thing is I'm trying to get that balance so I don't burn out. And that's really the thing, because you won't be able to make the change if you go hard. And I saw this commercial. I don't know if you remember that guy from the one of those weight loss, like one of the transformation shows. That his name is Dolvet, and I forget his last name. It's weird. Dolvet Quince. Yeah, so he's pushing one of those drugs, one of those weight loss drugs. I can't believe it. But he's always been like a workout guy. And the one thing that he says is that most people go too hard at the very, very beginning, and then they burn out. And so I know I'm guilty of that as well. So I have to sort of maintain that balance. Yeah. Okay, so we got the J. Jordan. All right, now we see you. Hi. Hey, I bring it every day and people in the chat. All right, now. Yes. Sweet Pea Sid said, I can agree with that. I was just talking to my husband last night about to start making wire jewelry, but I feel intimidated. Just have to get it out of my head. That's right. Yeah, you just have to do it, And thanks for hitting the like button, the J. Jordan. And I know he's working out. See, he's been doing that every day for a long time. And I go, for me, that's scary. Yep. So that's the whole thing that you have to do. So you just have to do it. And it's easier to say, it's easier said than done. But the fear of failure is something that they say it's not real. It's sort of in your own mind, right? Because if you just go and do it, even if it's not perfect or, and the word fail is kind of relative, it's hard to say, like, let's say you start, Sweet Pea said, you make your jewelry, and maybe people don't buy it right away, because she has an Etsy shop. But let's just say you make it looks pretty decent and you're kind of happy with it. So once you've made it, you're good, you know. So, the fear was more in your head than it was. But it might take a minute for things to start to move, And that's the whole thing too, everything that happens, it kind of happens in its own time, right? Yes. So like I said, you have to ask yourself, like, what are you looking to do soonish, like I said, it doesn't have to be today, but maybe in the next 3 or 6 months, like what do you want to accomplish? And so for me, the other thing was in 2024, I was looking for, I was trying to spend more time, with family. And, my husband and I sort of have accomplished that. We've been doing little family get-togethers and stuff like that because my kids live in one city, I live in another, and they have crazy work schedules. So yeah, you really so we were able to do that. So I'm kind of celebrating that a little bit. Yep, Sweet Pea Sid saying hey to the J Jordan, and yes, and then she's saying we all have to start somewhere. That's it. That is it. Now let's see if I can find this other thing. So that's what you really have to do, and like you can't you have to start somewhere, and then you just have to sort of have faith that it's going to come together. And and it might take time, so you just have to be prepared for that, because not everybody's sort of an overnight success, and we talked about way back, we talked about Walt Disney, and all the stuff that he went through to become successful, because it took him about 30 years. I guesstimated it might be a little bit less, but really close to the 30-year mark, to make money, have a success, and have his company do well, because it was in the hole. Like he went bankrupt a couple times. So so you got to say that things don't necessarily happen right away. It might take some time. So there it is. And then you have to figure out like whatever that goal is, what kind of training or education do you need? Where are you going to get the training? How are you going to pay for it? Little things like that. But it all sort of adds up. But don't let that intimidate you. Just, keep in mind that you don't want to you want to think it through, but you need to jump, but you don't want to jump too fast before you really think about it. Yeah. So I'm just saying, like, think about it, kind of work it through a little bit, and then just, start. Yep. So you got to start somewhere. And that's what Sweet Pea said. Yeah. So there's that. And then, yep, so we talked about the vision board. Oh, yeah, and then you got to stay focused. You got to stay focused. And, if things don't work out, then you sort of have to, adjust. And that's always the thing. People are afraid to change. And I know, like, for example, just looking at my YouTube channel, I've taken a lot of turns, and some of them were planned and some of them weren't. Yeah, it's really interesting. So you sort of have to, find what works for you, and then sort of, work it. You have to do a little bit of that too. Yeah. So like I said, and then just make sure, you dream big. Let's see. Okay. All right, Sweet Pea Sid. Well, thank you so much for coming by. Yeah, you got it. She's working. Yeah. All right, I'll be checking out your tutorial. And I did enjoy the earrings. So one of these days I'll do the tatting. That's on the bucket list. I just don't have a time frame. So that's the other thing. You got to make sure you try to put a time frame on some of these things that you want to do. But anyway, Sweet Pea Sid's doing a tutorial, making some calls. Have a great day, everyone. So thank you so much for stopping in. Yes. But that's what you have to do, So she's working on that jewelry. Yeah. That's pretty good. All right, now let's see. Where are we? Yep. But like I said, don't forget to celebrate celebrate those wins, because you may not get the celebration from other people, but if you have to celebrate yourself a little bit, you know what I mean? Go out and, Have a nice meal and go, hey, I hit that goal and we did it. All right. So we do that. And then, just make sure, that, yeah, you celebrate those goals. But anyway, let me reread that Zig Ziglar quote that I put on the thumbnail. So here it is. So if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. And Zig Ziglar was a motivational speaker for a very, very long time. Very, very popular. Wrote a lot of books. And so that's why I always say, like, you have to go out and do something. You got to do something. Because if you talk about it, you're not going to get it done. You have to take steps to keep going. And then, if things don't work out, you have to be kind to yourself and give yourself grace, because like I said, not everything works out right away, but if you persevere, you can make it happen. So there's that. Let's see what else. Okay. And then kind of along those lines, this is from, let's see, I forget who said this one. Oh yeah, this is Rosa Parks. And she said, we will fail when we fail to try. And that's kind of the same as the Zig Ziglar. Let me see. I'm going to put that one in too. Yes. I'll put this one in the banner. Yeah, this one's very interesting too. So once again, this is just talking about, you got to do something. You got to, if you don't try, you're not going to get anywhere. So here we go. So this is Rosa Parks. Let me put this in here. Forgot to do this before. Yes. But I want to do this now. So I'll have this running in the banner. And this is what got me sort of, well, Zig Ziglar first got me, but this was very interesting. That she, that Rosa Parks said too. It almost says the same thing, but I thought this was interesting also. And I like the way she words it too. Yeah. Okay. Hopefully I spelled this right. To try. All right. And I'm going to run this. And bam. Yes. Oh, let me put her name on there. Okay. So this is Rosa Parks. And I know everyone remembers who Rosa Parks is. There we go. I'm going to put it there. Okay. Show. All right. Yeah. So that's really the big thing. So remember, like I said, we're closing out the year. And that's the thing that we need to do. We just need to keep it moving. But make sure you try. You got to try something. And it's weird. Like the other day, I was listening to some people. They were talking about, oh, I'm not doing this. Like I'm not being successful. I'm not being successful. And I thought I wanted to say something, but I sort of kept my mouth shut because it was sort of like in a live stream. And, but the one thing that was interesting was nobody said what they were going to do to change. They were just like, oh, I'm not going to spend all this time on YouTube. And I said, well, but you got to do something to change if you want to see some success, in anything. And that's what it is. That's the biggest thing. And change always involves a little bit of pain, so you just have to be, you got to be prepared to go through the pain. But let me see, did I write that right? We will fail when we fail. Oops, I did double. Let me fix this. Hold on, let me fix this. I did type this wrong. We will fail when we fail to try. Yes. Oh, I doubled that. Oh, I don't know how I did that. When we fail to try. Let me fix this. When we fail to try. There we go. Ooh. That's better. Yep. Okay. All right. Okay. Let's see if this goes here. Yes. Okay. All right. I think I got it. Yes. So that's where we are. Yeah, I've got the bad typing today. Okay. Let me see if I got it. Okay. Save. All right, here we go. We will fail when we fail to try. Rosa Parks. There we go. That's better. Yeah. So the thing is, like I said, you have to do something. So if you don't do anything, that's what's going to happen. Okay, Suzanne. There we go. Thank you. I'm glad you said this. I want to let this, I'm going to take a sip and then I'm going to let this. Yes, but people are good at bringing up problems and bad at finding solutions. So that's really the thing. You have to really, like, you have to push, you have to push yourself. And it's hard to, like, a lot of people don't really want to do that deep work, and it's hard. Like, I'll be the first to tell you, it's not easy, right? Hmm. But that's the bottom line. Like, you really, you have to do the work. You have to do the work. Yes. And then I'll see. I'll do that. Now this is a long one. It probably won't fit in here, but I'm going to read this one too. And this is kind of going along the same way. And the whole idea of today is to, kind of encourage people just to think about the steps that you need to take. Oh, okay. Oh my goodness, Gulf Coast Granny, good to see you. Good morning. Yes. So here we go. So here's another one. I'm going to have to put this in the description because it's very long. But this is from Thomas Edison. And he says, or said, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. Yeah. So that's a good one. So one more time, let me see if I can get this. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to just try. Sorry. One more time. Our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. And that's Thomas Edison. A lot of words. So in other words, so we talked about, with Zig Ziglar, if you do nothing, you'll succeed every time. Rosa Parks, we will fail when we fail to try. And then Thomas Edison is basically saying the greatest weakness we have is giving up. And in the way to succeed is to try one more time. So that's it. So, and that's just like, and that's that adjusting or pivoting, that I've talked about before. So there it is. So that sort of sums up all of those things. And I'll put this one in the description. But yeah, I think it's really interesting to the, like this whole motivation thing. And I'll just talk a little bit about how I ended up here. So I started doing this. I think it was weird. Like I guess I got to monetization. And then I was like, and the thing that's very interesting for the people who aren't monetized is that you have to sort of figure out a way to stay there. And a lot of people, don't do a lot of content. And the thing that you have to realize is that you have to do content because and to come up with the ideas is tough. So that's always what you have to sort of do, and it's weird. And so that sort of started me doing this. But then the other thing that happened for me is that a lot of I ran into some old friends, and I hadn't really thought about them in a long time. Anyways, they're like high school people that I knew, and these were people that I knew from way back. And they also said that like we were saying, like sort of doing the interview. So what happened after high school? Oh, I did this, I did that, we did that. We got married, had kids, on and on and on. And it was very, very interesting that a lot of the kids, so kind of to give you just a little background was I was sort of on a college track. So I was pretty serious. Like I was a serious kid, and I was always doing school and really working it, and some of my friends were not on that track. Like they just weren't. So when we got to about high school, we sort of, parted ways because we were going in different directions. And it's really, really interesting to talk to them now, and they were saying, oh, what happened with you? Yeah, I did this. So anyway, it's really interesting. So, but the whole point of this is, the one girl, was not interested in school, but the funny thing is now she's into school, and it took her, years and years and years to finally, go back to school, get a college degree. And she's working on a master's, I believe, right now. Like she's hooked. You know what I mean? And and she said, yeah, like I love going to class. I love participating. Like she's like a real student, and I said, wow, that's pretty. And it's amazing because she was not that way when I knew her back in the day. And it's interesting to see, the transformation. And I'm really glad for her because I think she's really going to do well. Like she's got the passion. That's the other thing too. Yeah. Let's see, Gulf Coast Granny. What you saying? Okay. Oh, there we go. That's a good one. Yes, Gulf Coast Granny saying also redefine what success means in one's life. Okay, so that's a good question. So if anybody's interested in sharing that in the chat, let me know what you think. I still haven't defined that for myself yet. I mean, I haven't. Like I'm still that definition of success is been kind of a moving part for me. And it has changed over the years, but let's see what everybody says there. I'm wondering what you think about that. Yeah. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I just we'll have to see if anybody says anything there, if they come up with any ideas. But Gulf Coast, Granny. I mean, like for you, what does that mean? Yeah. And let's see what she says. Yeah, so I'm trying to think. Like I know back in the day, for because my family was really into school, so everything was education. It was grades, and then like extracurricular activities and what you were doing and stuff like that. So that was kind of success, and having good grades and stuff like that. And but then like for me later on, in terms of like education and stuff like that, for me it was more like I kind of got into how do I apply this stuff and make it work in real life. And it's really interesting. So I have a relative that's a high achiever, high grade person. And but if I ask them how does that what does that mean? And then they go, they can't tell you like what it means. And see, that's a little deeper, like digging a little deeper, you know. So like for me, that I'm always asking, like, what does this mean? And all this kind of stuff like that. But anyway, but for me, I started doing that. Yeah. Let's see. Gulf Coast Granny saying, oh, as a granny pushing 60, that's what I learned. In 6 decades, success changes as one gets older, wiser, and life doesn't always follow the path we thought we'd take. Yeah, that is true. Okay. And then Suzanne saying, I believe any accomplishments can be success if planned out. Okay. Yeah. So, like for me, I guess lately now I've been sort of thinking like a successful person is good in almost every aspect of their life. So in other words, their relationships are good, friendships, relationships if they have, a romantic relationships with their kids, relatives, things like that. That's kind of what in my mind that's successful. If they have a reasonable, career, if they're reasonably fulfilled in this in the things that they do like on a daily basis. So in other words, like not just working to live or living to work, but just working. Like for me, working was always a tool to get me to other places. So in other words, like I was trying to build wealth. So it's like it's, it got like really deep, as time went on, but like I never really looked at other people and said, oh, they have like a high paying job. Like I wasn't really concerned about that. I was just concerned really about doing a reasonable job and getting some accolades at work or whatever. And I was really always competing with myself and not necessarily with other people in that regard. And so that's kind of that's kind of what I define success as, in a broad level. Yeah. So let's see. But yeah, let me see what else. Okay, here we go. I like this. Yes. In Gulf Coast Granny, for me at this point, success is contentment. Yeah. And I think that's a big one. That's definitely a big one. Because, yeah, you have to be comfortable where you are. Yeah. Content. That is correct. That's wonderful. Very nice. Yes. So there's that. But that's the whole thing that I think a lot of like I said, just thinking about the end of the year, and we were trying to, like give ourselves a little bit of grace in terms of trying to deal like with the holidays, and I know like a lot of people get really 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 worked up about the holidays, and sometimes I think it's too much. And so it's weird. I was in a store yesterday, and they were blasting this Christmas music, and I used to love Christmas music, but now I can't take it anymore. Like, it's been too much, and they're really like pushing it, and they're pushing all this, all the shopping and stuff, and it's been a lot. So I've lost the luster, for the Christmas holidays and stuff, only because it's just gotten to be a lot. And but yeah, it's interesting. You know what I mean? So I always say, like, if you have to get away from all that, get outside and take a walk and enjoy the air. Uh, let's see how the I have to see how the weather is. So anyway, I think we got a little bit of ice out there. So yeah, this is that weird winter weather. So we're getting started on that already. Hopefully, it won't be so bad. But but anyway, so Nightbot's doing a little promo for me. Christmas boundaries. Yes, that's correct. Well, I know, I can't believe it. Like, I used to be like over the top with that, and my husband and I were both the same way. And I felt bad. Like, I was like the Debbie Downer. I said, this is too much. I can't do it anymore. And I felt bad, but I tried to, do a little something, something for everybody, so we'll be doing a few things. Yeah. Here's the countdown. I forgot I put this in here. Yeah. See, I was messing around with Nightbot about 5 months ago, but that's where we have how much time we have till Christmas. Wow. That's crazy, right? Yeah. There it is. Yep. 8 days. Yeah. 15 hours and 26 minutes. Wow. 20. Yeah. 8 days, 15 hours, 26 minutes, 54 seconds. That's crazy. But I put that in there just for funsies to see if Nightbot would actually do it. But they did. All right. But that's really cool. So, but anyway, did I think I covered everything that I wanted to talk about? So just summing everything up is that, just make sure that, you keep going and enjoy, like, try to find joy in whatever it is that you like to do. When you find yourself getting really, kicked and kicked and beat up by the world. And for a lot of us, we do our crochet and knit, we're enjoying that. And just make sure that you find whatever that hobby is. If it's music, if it's just, hanging out with the kids, the grandkids, find those things that give you a little bit of joy when you're kind of, stuck in finding joy. If you're having difficulty finding it, but just try to do those things, and just, find those little 10-minute breaks, 5-minute breaks during the day, just to give yourself, some air. And like a lot of times, you can just turn on some music that you like, listen to a couple of bars, and that'll get you going. You do a little exercise, do some breathing, move those hands and fingers around, to try to get that blood flowing, and stretching. A lot of that will help kind of get you moving and get your mind right. So that's really the, I guess in the summation of this whole thing is, we're trying to get our minds right, get this week started. I appreciate everybody who's come in to the stream, and hey, lurkers and the people and the replay, we appreciate you also. But I hope, if this is helpful to you, please leave a comment and let me know, if this is giving you some things to think about. But just remember, the New Year's coming, and just try to work through that bucket list and try to think about that bucket list and some things that you might want to do. Yes. Let's see. Gulf Coast Granny saying, I used to dread Christmas. It was hard. I was a broke single mom of 5. Wow, that's a lot. The expectations were overwhelming. It was crazy town. See, and this is where I think, for me, that I lost the luster for that, because I felt like in some ways, we're being sort of manipulated by retail to sort of go crazy this time of year. Because I mean, because once again, I feel like, life is short. And if you have the means, I don't understand like shopping between November 25th or whatever and January 1st. It's bizarre. Like, I don't understand why you can't spread that out throughout the year. But it's very interesting. And I think that's what mostly this holiday is turned into. And it's kind of tragic. And when you are, when you do have some shortages of funds, it does make it really tough. And so, like I really wanted my kids to be taken care of, but I also wanted them not to be spoiled with junk, because it's easy to get pulled into this, buying all this random stuff, and it's hard. And, and those single moms, like I was raised by a single mom too, we didn't have five. I think if we had done, we were only three, but I think if we had five, that I just think it's hard, and I want to say, I was very blessed to live where I lived because everything was cheap, reasonable. When I say cheap, it was reasonable. Like you could buy a house, you could buy food, you could find a reasonable job and have a reasonable life without a whole lot of money. And I know like people in big cities and stuff like that, it just wasn't that way. Yeah. So I understand the Christmas dread. Now, hopefully your kids' expectations are reasonable. And one of the things I really wanted to do, but we never got a chance to do, was to like go to a homeless shelter and, during the holidays and volunteer. Like I kind of wanted them to see that and just to say, hey, we're very fortunate to have what we have, Yeah. And we got Pebbles Pico. Hey, hello. Good to see you. And thanks for popping in. Yes. And then Gulf Coast Granny. Now I stick with only buying for kids under 18, and the rest of us adults do a Secret Santa with a $50 limit and a nice dinner. I love the dinner. That's good. Yeah, that's nice. And then Pebbles is saying Christmas shouldn't be presents. It should be of giving your time and joy to others. Right. And definitely hanging out with the family, and hopefully the family people that you don't see all the time. You know what I mean? And I used to, travel around and try to get to some of the relatives that lived in other states, during that time, if I could, and that was always good, Yes. And then, yes. So here it is. So this is the countdown. This is the actual countdown to Christmas. So you got 8 days. But, like I said, just try to enjoy the family time, And we got, Boss Lady Denise, hello. Good morning, Kelly and Chad. Good to see you. Yes. So there it is. So that's what we're trying to do. You know what I mean? So like I said, just make sure you guys, keep plugging along and do the best that you can, and make sure you take care of yourself. And there's one other thing I wanted to say about the shopping, Christmas. Oh, I missed one thing. Yeah, just make sure you take care of yourself. Yeah, self-care. We got to make sure we do that. And like I said, if you're feeling really overwhelmed, give yourself some time. And then just keep going and just, like I said, pat yourself on the back when you succeed in some of those plans that you have. Celebrate those victories, because and then remember, life is short, so you want to try to work on those things, that you might have just been slightly thinking about. Work on those bucket lists, work on that vision board that sort of helps you put all that stuff in perspective. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, we got Rebecca. Hey, Rebecca McCauley. Good to see you. Good morning, Kelly, and everyone in chat. So that's what we've talked about today. So here's kind of the summary for the people just coming in. So we will fail when we fail to try, and that's Rosa Parks. And everything was about, you will fail if you don't try, and regardless of what that is, So if you aim at nothing, you will hit it every time. And that's Zig Ziglar, and that he's on the thumbnail. And then Thomas Edison, I'll just do this one. Oh, wait, let me read. Oh, Gulf Coast Granny, this is good. Okay, so she said, I'm going to visit my parents this year from the 26th to January 2nd. It'll be on 24 peaceful acres in Georgia. Good for you. Helping Dad take care of these cats. And you'll even go home for your birthday for the first time in decades. Wow, that's awesome. See, and that's going to be great. So make sure you let us know how that went and what you did. That's really nice. Yeah, and see that. Oh, getting out to the country. Yeah, I agree with that for sure. And I think my husband and I sort of calmed ourselves down when we moved out of the city and we moved to the country, and it's very peaceful. Like, I haven't heard a car this morning. I'm kind of concerned because we had a little bit of an ice storm. So I'm like, oh, it may be a little icy out there. So I don't know, but we'll figure it out. But then the final thought is, our greatest weakness lies in giving up. The most certain way to succeed is always to try just one more time. And that's Thomas Edison. And, I'm going to put that in the description because it's very long. It's a very long quote. But like I said, just keep it going. Thank you for supporting the channel, with the motivation. It's a little bit off the beaten path. And I know it's not for everybody. But this really helps me sort of keep focused and just to start the week on a positive note. And because I think positivity, definitely can outweigh the negativity, and it can also just sort of keep you say, okay, it's the beginning of the week. Let's get it going, and do what you do and do the best that you can, and treat people right while you're in the process of doing all that. Yes. Okay, Suzanne, thank you so much. I appreciate it very much. And if there's anything you've learned or whatever, let me know. Drop it in the comments, or you can hit me up on Instagram or Facebook too. I bring an everyday group, and it's in there. And I want to say thank you to the people in Instagram. They've been staying with me. I appreciate you. So there we go. So get out there and do it. You motivated me to do laundry, Suzanne. Yeah, I did that yesterday or the day before. So I did that. See, I'm trying to keep up with these little things. It's just the little things, and don't let this overwhelm you. Just remember, you don't have to make big steps. You can just small steps, just check off that list. You can do a to-do list. You can do a vision board if you want to get big, buying that new home, sending your kids to school, financing the big vacation, things like that. But the little things every day, kind of keep you going. You gotta eat. You have to cook something. You gotta do laundry. You gotta clean up a little bit and stuff like that. So there it is. So do that laundry, Suzanne. I do enjoy laundry though. All right, and then make sure you do something fun on your downtime. That's something that you love, and then share that joy with other people. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, anyway, I think that's it. So I'm going to say thanks for watching. Let me see. Let me find my little thing here. Yes. Oh, here we go. So thanks for watching. And we really appreciate everybody who comes in. And I'm going to play a little bit of Drizzle because I love him so much. And I thank him for doing my theme song. But anyway, have a great week and we'll see you soon. All right now. Okay. Woo. Woo. All right, now we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.